So I wanted to give my 2 cents about a story that has been trending lately all around the place, where a woman of color is suing Walmart, claiming that they're being racist by placing products geared towards African Americans behind a security glass, preventing people from getting access to them. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of backstory about it before I talk about my own opinion, and I have my notes here for that. Grundy is suing Walmart after finding beauty products geared towards African Americans were locked behind a glass case, while products usually geared toward Caucasian people were not behind any protective glass. Now, this took place in Southern California, and I don't know if you've seen the video yet. I'm pretty sure everyone has, but I'll link it down below if you haven't, where Grundy is showing a employee. Well, she shows the case first, where all the products are put, and she shows the employee. He's kind of getting agitated. He kind of is, getting agitated. She has to essentially go and get an employee to unlock the case in order for her to get the product, as to prevent theft. And she's calling it racist, saying that black people, it's perpetuating this idea that black people steal. I wanted to give my 2 cents behind this because I kind of see it both ways, where if you've been a person of color who's walked into a store, and especially if you walk into a beauty supply store and an Asian guy is following you around because he thinks you're gonna steal something, it's a microaggression that black people have to put up with all the time. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of stores are going out of business, because you have this thing called e-commerce, where you can shop online and you don't have to worry about things of that nature. But in this particular case, especially if you're someone who you like to buy things on the ground, you like to see them, you don't really care to shop online, you should be able to go into a store and buy a product and not have to worry about people thinking you're going to steal something. I don't think what Walmart did by putting the products geared towards African Americans behind a glass case, I don't think it was racist. And the reason why I say that is because although we don't live in a just world, at least I don't believe so, I do think that there is a system that a lot of stores use where they look at what products are being stolen the most, especially if you're a big corporation like Walmart and you want to prevent loss, like you want to have loss prevention. You want to make it a priority and prevent theft. You basically look at what products are being stolen the most and where that money is, how can we keep that money in the store? Because while we can sit here and say that what Walmart's doing is racist and it makes it look like all black people steal, we also have to keep in mind that if you had a business, if we had businesses, we would want to be able to invest in our businesses and get that money back. We also have to understand that while we, those individuals who don't steal, we go in the store, we know we're going to buy and we're not going to steal. For all of us who think that way, there are others who don't think that way. They don't see things that way. They don't care to pay for what they want to buy. And so Walmart has taken a measure where they have put those products that have been stolen the most behind security glasses. And they have a right to do that. Now, a couple of the things that I didn't understand when I read into the story a little bit more, why I'm kind of on like each side of the fence here, is that in order to get the products, like I said before, Grundy had to go and get a employee to unlock the case and take the product out. Fine, right? But the other issue was that she couldn't put the product in her cart and walk along and go along her day. She had to be escorted to the cashier with the product in tow in order to go and purchase it. And I thought that was really odd, because I never had to be escorted to purchase a hair product before. I mean, that normally happens when, take for example, you're buying a very high-priced electronic item. They're usually behind security. Fences if you go into electronic stores, because they want to prevent theft, right? I've also had it where, like, if you go, I don't know if it's every Costco's, but the Costco's I go to, if you're purchasing a cell phone from the kiosk, the person will take the cell phone out, or you have to go with the receipt, and you go with them and you pay, and then the person will go and get the phone and bring the phone back, and then they'll activate it there, and only after you paid for it can you touch the phone, which I think is normal. I don't have a problem with. I haven't seen, situations where they've only done that with one particular type of person. So it's not, I don't identify that as a race issue, just like I don't identify putting products behind a security glass to be a race issue, because every company has a right to protect their investments. Now, some people are saying, we shouldn't look at analytics here because those are the only products in the hair section now that get stolen. Other products get stolen too. But we also have to keep in mind that, especially if you have natural hair, or you buy, or not even natural hair, if you buy products in general that cost a lot of money. When a store or a business is purchasing products wholesale, those products, the Suave, the VO5, the Aussie Moist, the L'Oreal, are mass produced on such a large scale that those products cost way less wholesale than the ethnic products. So those aren't cheap. There was some mention about a 50-cent comb being locked behind the security glass, which I thought was pretty inappropriate because it's a 50 cents, it's a 50 cents comb. But at the same time, if people are coming in there and they're stealing it, maybe that's why it's behind there. People don't just put these things in place for no reason. Like something, even, for example, the Walmart that I go to is in a predominantly black neighborhood. I'm in the natural hair section all the time. And when I'm in there, there's no security glasses behind anything. There's no security, glass. Nothing is blocking anything. And you can just pick up your products and go along your day. But that can also go to show you that maybe they see no interest in investing in the glass to prevent theft, because maybe they have a system that is already put in place to prevent those things from happening. And maybe they don't. Maybe they just depend on the goodwill of the faith that somebody will, if they want a product, they will purchase it with their own money and not steal. However, if you're a business owner, you reserve the right to protect your products the way you feel. Now, I've worked in retail, and I worked in a flagship store, a flagship clothing store, and I've seen white customers steal. I've seen white tourists steal. In my time being there, I haven't seen black people steal, but the demographics, a lot of white people do frequent the store. So, it makes sense. Now, I don't know the demographics of that particular Walmart, so that statement may be completely irrelevant. But the point remains the same, that a store would not go out of its way to invest in additional things to prevent loss if they didn't see the need to. Because then, if Walmart said, you know what, these people are stealing these products at such a high rate, maybe we should just not buy it. And then what they will have is, they won't have that additional cost of stocking those products. And since they don't have to stock those products, they don't have to buy a glass to protect them. And so what will happen then is people will get angry that the products that are supposed to be meant for us, they're not putting it in the stores anymore. But they don't have to. Like places like Target, CVS, all those different places choose to have those products because they want to bring products to people who want them, to the people who want them, and they want people to be able to have a way where it's a convenience for them. But they also want to make their money too. Stores have to make their money. That's how they pay their employees. So when I think about whether or not this particular thing is racist, and I'm not saying Walmart isn't racist. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not playing what they call those people, the coon or whatever. I'm not trying to be that. I'm very much for my people, but we also have to understand, just like we know that not all black people steal, we do know that when we say not all, some is left behind and some do steal. And we have to think about that on a wider scale than just making it about race. Do I think that this particular incident is racist, and do I hope this woman wins this case? I honestly don't hope she wins this case. And my reason is because I feel like when lawsuits like this happens, it really isn't a matter of you know, getting something, accomplishing something or getting something done. It's a matter of who can file the claim first, because whoever files the claim first will also get the money. So we have to think about that, look at people's motives, because yes, maybe this person could be an advocate to say, you know, we need to stop doing, you know, these big corporations need to stop doing this and perpetuating the stereotype that black people steal. But at the same time, we don't know. Maybe she could have researched different cases where people won money off of claiming racism, and she decided, you know what, I'm gonna get my coin up. So am I saying that's the case? No, we don't know the case. We also don't know the outcome of this, but I'm not really in her favor in this particular case, and the reason why is because I feel like this is just going to give people permission to shout the word, to you know, to put out the race card whenever they see something that they don't like, to protect our investments. And there's also to keep in mind, and I'll just leave this as my last note, if you walk into a store and maybe you walk into a store, you're looking at products and you feel like someone's following you, or you just so happen to walk upon a hair aisle and the products that you want to buy are behind a shelf, there's also something you can do there. Just not buy it. Buy it somewhere else. Buy it online. This is why e-commerce is coming into place and taking over things, because criminal, and you feel like, if you feel like you felt like a criminal, then just don't buy it. That's it. You can actually turn the same analytics that determine whether or not people are stealing that investment to buy that security glass can also turn around on them too, because if you stop buying the ethnic products and people were to stop stealing them, they would probably remove the glass. There'd be no reason to have a glass if they weren't making money on the products, because then they would say, you know what, we're putting this thing here to prevent loss, and instead we're losing revenue. I guarantee you they'll remove the glass. So with that being said, I would love to know what you guys think. You don't have to agree with me, whatever the case is, but I definitely do want to hear what your opinions are, and let's try to be as constructive as possible, please. See you next time.